Here we are with Dino Cazares, one of the most important guitar players of the metal world in the last 25 years or so, with a brand new album called Genesis. It's without any doubt, it's Fear Factory in all their stages, from the old school to the brand new part, and we have seen that there is a progression in that. Especially in the vocal parts, with tracks of Expiration Date or Project. Is that something that just happened, or is that something that you guys have been working on a lot to get this particular sound?
Well, we always try to, push our music as far as we can go. You know what I mean? We always try to bring new influences or, better what we've done in the past. But, we didn't purposely try to go back and say, hey, we're going to go copy our old records. You know what I mean? We didn't say that, and that's not what we tried to do. We just wanted to be who we are and do what we do best and do it the best that we could. And that was basically our approach on this record.
Awesome. Now, I see that you guys have gotten back to a real drummer, which was not the case in the Industrialist. That time you were using like a drum machine or stuff. Now, obviously, your drummer, Mike Heller, but you also got the help from Dean Castronova, who was helping with Barton's Plastic Planet, right?
Yes. Well, the Industrialist, the reason why we didn't have a drummer, so we ended up using a drum program. Just I wanted to clarify that. But of course, Mike Heller has been with us for the past 3.5 years. And, we have a drummer, so let's put the drummer on the record. You know what I mean? It was, we didn't put Mike Keller on the record just because we had a drummer. But, we could have used the drum program, but we decided, he's been with us for 3.5 years, and he's earned his spot. Let's put him on the record. And exactly what we did. We felt that because he knows Fear Factory really well. He understands the music. He understands our style of music. You know what I mean? He understands it really well, and he was perfect for the job. And he did an excellent job, performing the songs on the record. And we really like, his style and his vibe. And it added a more of an organic human element to the songs. Even though when you record live drums, you can always sound replace the drums to make it sound electronic, but it's still a human playing it. And that's what I like about the hybrid between the organic and the digital. And so we still have the human element on the record, and we believe that it added a good vibe to the songs. And so we're extremely proud of him, and we're proud of the music, and we're happy how it's turned out.
Yeah, talking about the person or people who really understand Fear Factory, it's you guys again with Rhys Fulber. He's kind of the fifth member of the band. Why he is keep working with you? It's just because you feel really comfortable with him, or because is the best fit for the band?
I feel that he was one of the guys who really understood the band from the beginning. When we did Soul of a New Machine, we really wanted to add more keyboards and more electronic elements into the music, but we didn't have that kind of technology back in 1991, 1992. So when we met Rhys Fulber, we're like, wow, this guy's amazing. Maybe he could do something for us to help us get to the next, to create something that we hear in our heads, we just don't have the technology to do it. So Rhys Fulber was that one guy. He was that one missing link. When he did Fear's the Mind Killer, which was 1992, which is the remix EP, that was the missing link between Soul of a New Machine and Demanufacture. And Rhys was the one who helped us create that. So when I came back into the band and a few years ago, when we did Mechanize and the Industrialist, and obviously the new one, I wanted to bring Rhys Fulber back because, I felt that element of Fear Factory was missing on the two records that I wasn't on Archetype and Transgression. So when I came back, I wanted to bring the team back. the old team back, and Reese Fulber was definitely, the he was basically the guy who helped us create the sound that we wanted to create. But we also had two other keyboard players on the record as well, which they don't seem to get a lot of credit for. And one of them is a guy named Giuseppe, and another one is a guy named Damien Reynaud. And these guys are engineers, and they're very, very great with ideas, and they added a lot of element to the record as well, including Reese.
Absolutely, and well, obviously talking about that, it's Andy's snip on mixing the record, right? Why didn't Reese or Greg really continue with that work? Why did you decide to go on a different path with the mixing?
Well, we wanted to. When we went to Nuclear Blast, Monty Connor is the A&R guy there, and he signed Fear Factory to our record deal and Roadrunner Records back in 1990 or 1991, and his suggestion was to use Andy Sneap. And we've never used Andy Sneap before. We decided, let's give it a chance. Let's go somewhere. Let's try something different. And so we tried Andy Sneap, and we loved it. I mean, we thought we thought he was able to capture the sound of the band, and Andy Sneap's one of those metal mixers that really knows how to bring out certain tones that are great. For instance, guitar tones. He's really great with guitar tones. He's really great with drum tones, and he did an excellent job with everything else. So we were very happy that we decided to take the chance and decided to use somebody different, and it worked out great.
Yeah, talking about that, is your first album with Nuclear Blast, which by the way are kind of the Roadrunner of the 2010s, right? How different is to work with them than, for example, Candlelight or AFM Records that you guys used to?
Well, Candlelight and AFM Records were great companies, but you sign a contract and you might be with them for a year or two, depending on the contract. But when Monty left Roadrunner and went to NBE, we happened to be in between contracts, and he knew that, and he was like, I got to get Fear Factory. So, before we re-signed with any other label, he wanted to, approach the band, and I'm glad we did, because, he's, he's one of the guys that knows Fear Factory from the beginning. He's the one who signed the band. He's the one who kind of discovered us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it was an obvious choice, and plus, Nuclear Blast is a great label, and the other labels as well, were Candlelight FM, were great with us too. But I think Nuclear Blast has a really good stronghold in the metal community, in the metal market,
Right. Now, I want to break this interview into the second part, because for us as Latinos, it's very important to recognize the Spanish background or the Latin background from Dino Cazares, right? And we obviously see that Tony Campos is the new bass player, and obviously he was your partner in crime with ASESINO. So it's not a secret that you are in charge of doing the music for Fear Factory, while Barton is more into the lyric aspect or vocal aspect. Now, you and Tony are really good friends, and seems to have a really clear vision and similar vision in the music sense. Do you think in the future he is also going to put his input into the newer Fear Factory album? Is he officially a Fear Factory member now?
Well, the only two official members of Fear Factory is Bert and I, and it's really we hope to have Tony perform on the next album. That's up to him. You know what I mean? If he wants to stay with us, if he wants to move on, you know what I mean? I really want him to be there with me. Again, you said he's my partner in crime. I've known him for more than 20 years. He, he's played in a lot of different bands. He's very professional. He knows how to play well. He's an excellent bass player, and we're lucky to have him right now. And we hope that he stays with us to be able to perform on the next record. I think it will happen. And do I think he's going to contribute? If he does, if he stays with us, do I think he's going to contribute? Yes. Do I think he's going to add a different element? Yes.
Now, yeah, for sure.
Of course he is. I mean, listen to the ASESINO record. You know what I mean?
Yeah, talking about that. It's la segunda avenida. Is it going to happen sometime again?
What, new ASESINO record? Of course.
Right.
Yeah.
And
now that we are on the same schedule, it can happen.
Awesome. That's great news. Now,
hold on. Another thing.
Sure.
You said a minute ago Latino, and the thing about it is like, okay, even though that I'm 48 years old, right? I still have the passion for metal. I still have that passion. So when Fear Factory, when we start writing the music, like you heard Mechanized, you heard Industrialist, you heard the new record, you still feel the fucking passion there. That's what I love, and that's what I always try to convey when I write music. You know what I mean? I try to convey how I feel, you know, whether it's dark, whether it's heavy, whether it's fast, whether it's brutal. I try to convey how I feel with my Latin roots, because I feel that we are very passionate people, and we you know, whether we're crying, whether we're mad, whether we're happy, we're super passionate people, and I try to do that in the music. And then so when Bert starts singing, I try to get him in the vibe too, and he feels that passion the same way as I do. And I know that if Tony plays on the next record, it's going to be there even more.
Right. So in that sense, and I know it's not a real quote, but we might have considered a 50% of Fear Factory now a Latino band. So it's yeah, that's amazing. I mean, it's perhaps after Suicide Silence the only big and Slayer, but in kind of different way. It's the only bands that are truly relevant with Latino members who are proud of being Latinos. Does it mean anything to you to have this support from the whole continent that is expecting big things from ASESINO, big things from Divine Heresy, big things from obviously Fear Factory,
and Brujeria?
Oh, of course.
You know, people don't realize that me and Brujo started Brujeria before I was in Fear Factory, before I started Fear Factory. That was 1988 when we started fucking Brujeria. I was 18 years old. You know what I mean? Of course. And we did it in Spanish. Why? Why did we do it in Spanish? Because that's what we were Mexicanos, we were Latinos, whatever you want to call us. That's what we were. So we wanted to do something for, because there wasn't a lot of bands. There wasn't. I can't think of any bands that were singing in Spanish in metal or grindcore or death metal. I couldn't think of any band. So we're like, okay, if we're going to start Brujeria, let's do it like this. And that's how it started. So I continued the tradition when I did my first solo record, ASESINO.
Now,
I continued that tradition. Now, hold on. Now, when I did ASESINO, I'm like, okay, people might say, okay, it's like Brujeria, but yes, because we sing in Spanish, but I wanted to make it more new and fresh, and that's what it was. And the ASESINO was the shit.
Yeah, absolutely, it is. And we don't want to really abuse of your time. So if you would like to tell us from all your projects and from all the stuff that I'm sure you have really big highlights of in terms of albums. Can you tell us which albums are you really proud of? So people who probably do not know all your best catalog can have a look on that. I mean, I am like you on your same age, so I pretty much know all the records, but this blog and this website is for people from younger generations who may not know the manufacturer Obsolete or even Brujeria, Matando Güeros or the stuff from Divine Heresy. So in your own words, what are those Dino Cazares albums that people should really have a listen to?
Well, that's an easy question. All of them. All of them. Well, okay. If you're going to get into Fear Factory, if you say you never heard Fear Factory before and you want to try Fear Factory, okay, get Demanufacture and then go forward or go backwards. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You start with Demanufacture. If you want to get a Brujeria record, I think you should start with Raza Odiada and then go backwards or go forwards.
All right.
If you want to start with Divine Heresy, you start from the beginning with, Bringer of Plague. I'm sorry, Bleed the Fifth. Now, if you want to start with Asesino, you got to start from the beginning, Corridos de Muerte, and then, then the second album, Piso Satánico.
Awesome.
They're all good. It's hard to say. It's hard to say. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Just
sure.
start where. So if you look up Fear Factory, then you look it up, and wherever you start, and then you need to get it all. You need to listen to it all. So if you want to learn the history, that's the best way to do it.